Hello everyone and welcome back to Scarlet Hollow. I hope you're having an enjoyable Friday, and if you're not, well, let's get through that together. So sorry for missing Wednesday's upload of The Devil in Me. However, the weather here has decided to be unseasonably spring-like in that we had 80+ mile-an-hour wind gusts. When that happens, there's really nothing I can do to stop that noise. It rattles the whole house, like the hand of God has descended to shake it. Well, what can you do? Let's just enjoy what we have today, instead of worrying about tomorrow or yesterday. We have just completed our cousin hangout time with Tabitha. We are now going to go see the mayor, who is a dog named Jimmy. How do I look? It's been a while since I've been out in public like this. I'm kind of nervous. You! Excuse me, Miss Scarlet. Wow, is your name Karen? Can I help you? Becca stares at you from a distance as the furious woman tears into Tabitha. This must be her mother. What the hell do you think you're doing down here grinning like a buffoon after everything that happened last night? A mine collapse almost killed my poor, sweet, innocent child, and you thought it was a good idea to retaliate by demoting my husband? We've gotten used to a new lifestyle. You can't just take that away from us for something that was your fault. I heard that one girl had to have her foot amputated. That could have been my child. Don't think I won't be pressing charges. Ugh, Mom, please, you're embarrassing me. Shut up, Becca. Mommy is advocating for you. Oh. Okay, Becca, you make a lot more sense. You shouldn't talk to your daughter like that. It's bad parenting. I'm right here? Oh, I've heard about you. What do you possibly know about being a parent? My Becca has never done anything wrong in her life. There'll be hell to pay for both of you. What legal grounds do you even think you have? There are signs the place was boarded up. I did my legal duty, and you don't have a leg to stand on, so don't try to threaten me. Mom, can we please just go? If I were you, I'd listen to your brat. You haven't heard the last from us. You'll see. The woman storms off just as quickly as she stormed in, Becca following at a distance. God damn it, she's right. I can't just hang out around town the day after something like that. It doesn't look right. I should be up there, even if it's just to oversee what's going on. If I'm supposed to run this place, I gotta get my head in the game. I can't slip up like this again. Tabitha sighs, straightening up. Her scowl returns. Stay out of trouble. I'll see you at the library tonight. I'm gonna eat that woman. Not in the fun way. Your cousin turns and heads back to her car, leaving you alone on Main Street. You enter the library alone. It's busier than usual, and a small crowd has formed in a corner of the main foyer. Yes, you're here! Thank God we have something to do this morning. My family's been driving me nuts. Yes, the whole gang's here. I've been waiting to introduce Vinny to the mayor for, like, the entire time I've known her. It'll be worth it, trust us. Alright, shall we? Oh, I don't think Gretchen likes him very much. Yup, he's a dog. You can tell this dog is the mayor from his little sash and his fancy top hat. There's a regal air about him, almost as if he knows the position of authority he's been elected to. And unless you're mistaken, the serious man by his side is Deputy Franklin, one of the policemen you spoke to following your encounter in the woods on Monday. Franklin, is this your dog? Good morning, citizen. I don't believe we've met. He holds out his paw as if to shake your hand. You take his little paw in your hand, but the burly security detail stops you. No paw shaking, only head pats and ear scratches allowed. I must apologize for my security detail. He has my best interests at heart, but he can be a little gruff at times. see here. Hey, aren't you Deputy Franklin? Not when I'm off duty. The mayor scoffs. Off duty? The services you render for me are more important than your police work. Mr. Mayor, there's something very serious going on in town. We need your help. Murmurs stir in the crowd behind you as you relay the danger to the mayor. Of course, the pet disappearances. I've been made aware of the situation. What do you expect me to do about it? It's autumn. That's tourist season in Scarlet Hollow. Can't turn away the lifeblood of this town, not with that mine faltering the way it is. There was a mine collapse last night. We don't need any more news of disaster coming out of Scarlet Hollow. Do you understand? You're very well spoken. I can see how you got elected. It's not just fancy words that get you elected, human. It's hard work, dedication, and that unspoken charisma that carries a true leader to victory. Scraps and Daisy put up a good fight, but I just had something they lacked. The humans knew it, the dogs knew it. Well, most of the dogs. There's still a few hearts I've never won. His gaze falls briefly on Gretchen, who huffily turns away. Oh. I've heard just about enough from you, Jimmy. Look at you, putting on a show in front of your adoring fans, while the dogs of this town are snatched up by monsters in the woods, hoping the humans will clean it all up for you. When are you finally going to do something meaningful for the harriest citizens of Scarlet Hollow? Now, Miss Gretchen, there's no need. Scraps never would have let those things prowl the woods for so long. And yet you sit back... I'm sorry, this whole thing is so funny. And yet you sit back waiting for the humans to notice and letting more innocent dogs suffer. You know, I almost lost my life to those things the other night, and my goodness, haven't you heard about poor Duke? Now, Gretchen, a lot of those were old dogs. It's fair for me to assume they simply went to the big farm upstate. Don't you dare talk to me about old dogs! Stella, your dog is yelling at the mayor. Scraps would have been out in the woods at the first sign of trouble, tearing out the throats of any creatures who dared threaten the dogs of Scarlet Hollow. Yet here he is, posing for the little rectangles like nothing is wrong in this town. Wow, Gretchen! Gretchen squirms in Stella's arms, straining to get at Mayor Jimmy. Hey, whoa, Gretchen, calm down, old girl. You're gonna pull a muscle. Mr. Franklin, I think now would be a good time to dispose of this riffraff. Miss Richmond, I'm gonna have to ask you and your dog to step away from the mayor. I should have known better. These two have never been able to get along. Stella walks off, still struggling to hold Gretchen as she shouts insults back at Jimmy. I'm dying! Ingrate! Ne'er-do-well! You dog! Kanika is quick to follow. I'm so sorry, it's so funny. It's like everyone else is already talking to Oscar in the next room. Oh, you must be Ginny's husband. Before you catch up to your companions, you're intercepted by a nervous man with a cross around his neck. Sounds like old Gretchen and the mayor have some unresolved issues, wouldn't you say? Are you wearing gloves, sir? Okay, no, that's just your hands. I'm Pastor Daniel. I take it you're Vinny? Everyone's been buzzing about you. I'm so sorry about your aunt, but I'm sure she's in a better place now. Gretchen says she didn't vote for the mayor. The pastor goes quiet for a second, his face suddenly white as a sheet. The smile fades from his face as he stares at you intently, studying your expression. You too? He glances at either side before continuing. Thought I was the only one. Please come visit me at the church soon. Seems like we might have a lot to talk about. He hurries off, suddenly quiet and serious. Nothing to do now but catch up with your companions. Hello, sir. I am a bi disaster. Oh my god. Poor Rosalina. I can't even imagine how scary this has been for her. She seems in high spirits right now, but they've got her on some pretty strong pain medication. So I'm not sure how she's going to feel when that wears off. And it was the whole foot? Yeah, it's bad. But she's alive. We'll both be able to move on from this. We just have to get through the tough parts first. We're here for you, man. Thank you. All of you. Everything feels like it happened so fast. I know our whole lives have changed, but it's taking my mind a little bit to catch up. I feel like such a mess. I hope it isn't keeping me from being the dad she needs right now. I'm sorry to cut our conversation short, but I better get going. I was only supposed to come back to pick up a few things, but then the hospital called and said there'd been some big bus accident on the highway and they needed the bed, so I have to come pick her up. Even though our house is still haunted and the only place she can lay down until then is the dirty back room that drove her away in the first place, and Mayor Jimmy Day is happening. Sorry. Just a little overwhelmed. It's okay, Oscar. We're here to help. Yeah, we're gonna get that ghost. You could always go ahead and do a ghost bust or whatever we're calling it while you're out, and she'd be able to go right back to her old room as soon as she got back. That's probably a good idea, right? If only, but it doesn't come out during the day. So any busting attempts are gonna have to wait until nightfall. I'm still not even sure we can get rid of it at all. I think I'd have to see for myself that it was gone. It managed to trick me a couple of times and I can't handle any more surprises right now. I've got every ghost hunting device known to man. You're in good hands, Oscar. We have the power of friendship on our side. Heck yeah, we do. If the anime has taught me anything, it's that the power of friendship is unstoppable. It's a lovely sentiment. I'm sure Rosalina will at least be glad to know you all did your best to help her. I'm heading out. It should be dark by the time we get back, so I suppose I'll see y'all then. You know, it has been very refreshing to play a game where I can kind of just talk with about at least like half of my normal accent and it's not out of place. Oscar hurries off, keys jingling as he jogs out the door. Let's head up to Reese's. Maybe we can get him to come ghost hunting with us. Oh no, you're not gonna try to get Dr. Kelly to let him leave the house, are you? She'll kick us out for even asking. I wonder if he even knows what happened last night. I don't know how disconnected he is from the news around town. Jeez, should we tell him? Gosh, I don't know. Maybe we just play it by ear. Anyways, shall we? Time to go. So, about the mayor. You should vote for Scraps next election. That's who Gretchen supports. Wait, how did you know about Scraps? Can you actually talk to animals? I've always liked Scraps. Gretchen's got good taste. So, I finally met Pastor Daniel. It was only a matter of time until he tried to pull you aside for grief counseling. When my dad died, I had to ban him from the general store for a week. He wouldn't stop leaving these little pamphlets at the checkout. I don't know where he finds so many. I think he comes off as a little weird because he shares my gift. Wait, you don't mean? Yeah. He corroborated some of the things the mayor told me. Okay. Assuming for a minute that both you and Pastor Daniel have the magical power of speaking to animals, I don't think that's enough to explain how weird the guy is. For instance, I like you, and I don't like the pastor. I wonder how many people out there share your gift. There's so many implications. I'm going to continue to pretend that Vinny is just really good at reading animal body language. I don't think I can handle many more world-shattering revelations this week. Should we invite Avery ghost hunting? Oh, yeah, totally. I don't know why I hadn't thought of that. I'm sure they get a hoot out of it. Yeah, I can't say I mind having a calming presence with us tonight. We won't be much help to Oscar if we start jumping at our own shadows. Cool. I'll text them on the way over to Reese's. Oh, before I forget, I invited Tabitha to come ghost hunting. I still don't get what you see in her, and I don't think I ever will, but I guess she's in your family. I thought she was pretty helpful at the mines last night. Stella, last night was a disaster. For all we know, Tabitha just escalated things. Kanika sighs. It doesn't matter though. Vinny already invited her, so I guess we'll just see what happens. If we're lucky, she'll be too busy at the mines to even show. Aw, don't say that, Neeks. If we're lucky, she will show, and the two of you will finally get along. Alright, shall we head out? The three of you leave the library for an early dinner at Reese's. You once again find yourself in front of the Kelly residence. A cold hesitation grips you as the building's history looms over you from the hilltop. A refurbished Civil War hospital and tuberculosis clinic would be a strange and difficult place to live during the best of times. You can only imagine the challenges of living there with a chronic illness. Though it's only early afternoon, it feels much later, the sun already sinking behind the tall mountains that surround Scarlet Hollow. We're a little early. What if Dr. Kelly yells at us? There's no such thing as early when you're hanging out with friends. That's just extra time you get to spend together. Speaking as someone whose chronic illness definitely makes it difficult for me to hang out, yeah, my friends just come over and I go sleep when I need to, and then either they're there or they're not when I wake up. Or they come over while I'm still asleep, and then I just wake up, and then there are friends, and it's great. Okay, but what if she yells at us? Oh, you are definitely your mother's child. Where the hell is your waist? Or your entire midsection? Wow. Dude could be a model. It's too late. The door swings open. Hey! Reese! Oh my god, dude, it's been ages. You must be Vinny, right? I've heard a lot about you. Stella's been relentless about making sure I got all the Vinny updates. My goodness gracious, there's something that smells terribly off about that boy. Get away from my Stella, you fiend! Gretchen starts yelping at Reese, straining against Stella's grip as she tries to get between them. Are they here already? I knew you'd show up early, Stella, and you brought the dog. Great. Yeah, I thought she might cheer Reese up. I don't know what's gotten into her all of a sudden. The dog stays outside. But it's okay, Stella. We can let her chill in my van for a bit. I'll run the AC and leave her some treats. You know I always have some of those easy-chew dog jerky stashed away. The gall! The gumption! This is a violation of my rights! But we go everywhere together. Do you want to come in or not? Kanika nervously tucks Stella away from her, towards her van. You keep her safe from that monster, Vinny, you hear? You don't let a feather of harm fall on my darling Stella. Well, what about you, Vinny? Are you coming in? Oh, sure. You follow Reese and Dr. Kelly inside. Stella and Kanika aren't far behind you. The house feels cold. Not only is there an odd chill in the air, but the building itself feels too sterile. Uncomfortably tidy to the point where you're nervous to touch anything. If it weren't for the aroma of store-bought dinner rolls baking in the oven and the unsettling artwork hanging on the walls, you'd be half convinced you wandered into a real estate showing. So, how can I lend a hand? By sitting down at the table and not puttering around in my kitchen. I made sure everything was done well in advance, so the only thing left are the dinner rolls, which shouldn't be long. Then we can have a quick dinner and you can leave my house and go on about your business. But I was kind of hoping to see Reese's new art. We still have time right now, right? You aren't seriously considering subjugating your friends to a disaster of a room, are you? It's not that bad. You can still see the floor. Dr. Kelly raises a single questioning eyebrow. I don't mind a little mess. Yeah, I doubt it can be any worse than the way I keep my room. Yes, okay, fine. As long as you stay out of the kitchen, I don't care what you get up to. Cool. We'll just be downstairs. You won't even know we're here. I burnt my tongue on my tea. You make your way towards the basement stairs. Huh. Hey! Doesn't that kind of look like, Wayne? Doesn't that look like the, Titchlings? Is that a self-portrait, buddy? Sorry, I'm taking in the art. Okay. The basement is what you might expect out of a tortured artist who spends all his time confined to his studio. Discarded canvases line its edges, while trash and sketches leak out from their piles into the corners of the room, hiding the bare cement floor. Ghoulish faces coat the walls in paint, sneering out at their creator. Mom is so scary. She can be a little intense, kind of overprotective, which I guess makes sense. Anyway, let's make ourselves comfortable. You'll have to forgive the mess. I've been distracted lately. Haven't been cleaning much. Let's see here. So, has Stella told you about everything that's happened the past couple of days? Oh, she's told me all about what you guys found out there. I wish I could have seen some of it myself, but you know. Gestures in futility towards the walls of the basement. Are you sure you can't just sneak out one of these nights? The doc isn't keeping me prisoner here, Stella. I'm sick. You know that. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to. There's nothing to apologize for, and I appreciate the effort, really, I do. There's just nothing you can really rescue me from. That die's already been cast. But we were talking about the past couple of days, weren't we? Do you have any thoughts on the ditchlings we've been seeing? Yeah, they've been coming up to my window at night. Wait, really? Is that why you texted me that they look like something out of your nightmares? Yeah, I thought I was hallucinating. I hadn't put it together that we might have just been seeing the same thing until just now. I've been sketching them, actually. Tell me what you think. He pulls out a sketchbook from one of the piles in his rooms. Rooms. Okay, that's exactly what I saw on my way home last night. What does it mean that we've been lurking around here, though? I don't know, but I like the company. They're kind of beautiful in a sad way, if you ask me. Agreed to disagree with you there. Those things are going to be stuck in my nightmares until the day I die. Do you think the town is doomed? I think everything is probably doomed at some point, but I guess that's answering a different question. Do I think the town of Scarlet Hollow is on the brink of collapse? Probably not, but it's not like I have a lot of perspective on what it's like out there. There could be rioting on Main Street, and if Stella or the doc didn't tell me, I just wouldn't know. I would totally tell you if there was a riot. Would Dr. Kelly tell you, though? I mean, yeah, I'd hope so. But the point I'm trying to make is that other people are my eyes out there. What do you think's going on with Wayne? Who? You know, the guy that's been following Vinny around, being all ominous? Oh yeah, that slasher creep. I appreciate the classic Jason vibe he has going on. Here's hoping he doesn't live up to the look, for all our sakes. What do you think about my cousin? She was always so distant and mean. I probably would have thought she had it out for me personally if she wasn't like that towards everyone, or if I thought she even knew my name. But people change. Maybe she's nicer now. She's still terrible. You guys just never took the chance to get to know her. She's actually really funny and sweet. I'll pass, thanks. Your whole situation's gotta be rough. Sorry. Thanks, but I've been dealing with this thing for a while, so you don't need to feel sorry for me. I've come to terms with the way the rest of my life is going to be. Huh, you're so macabre, Reese. You make it sound like you've been sentenced to death. Stella. You haven't, right? Not exactly. No one really knows what's wrong with me, but it's been getting worse. Possessed by the devil? I mean, that's kind of right in line with the rest of this town. I can barely keep most food down. My skin always itches like there's worms crawling underneath it. I could live for a long time or a short time. No one's sure. But I'm definitely not going to get better. Whatever time I have left is going to be miserable. So I've done my mourning. My best years are behind me. My future is unknowable. But one day I'll wind up in a pine box just like everyone else, and I'm okay with that. Dang, Reese, I may be goth, but that's some real nihilistic shit. Well, make sure to come by more often from here on out. Friendships heal all wounds, right? Thanks, guys, but you really shouldn't worry about me. I have my art. I'm doing fine, really. True. We'll all join the worms one day. We just gotta make the best of what we got. Then he gets me. This is a cat I can jive with. Stella, maybe it was a mistake to get these two together. Your art. Yes! That's what I was thinking! Real Goya Black period vibes with a healthy dose of Beksinski. I don't actually know that artist. Beksinski? Beksinski? Thank you, I think. Yeah, that's a good thing. Then thank you. I really appreciate it. To be honest, I don't know much about art history. It's not exactly a popular subject in tiny K-12 rural schools, so my arts education was lacking. I'm working in the dark as far as influence. And you're doing great, man. You know, you can gain a real following if you ever posted these online, just saying. Nah, I think I'm okay sticking to sparsely populated late-night live streams. That's all the social media I can handle. Excuse me. I don't know how you do it, Stella, having to exist in front of all those people all the time. Knowing some version of you lives in their heads, knowing they expect something out of you that you might not be able to give them. Okay, but if the only time you ever put your art on display is a live stream during ghoul hours, when am I going to be able to see what you've been working on? Tell you what, when I die, I'll leave you my paintings. Then you can see them all. And maybe they'll be worth millions since I'll be dead. I'll be able to rest easy knowing someone had retroactively given my life value. That's quite a movie collection you got. Any recs? Let me think. Oh, have you heard of Shinochi, Deathblood? I saw that for the first time recently and it blew me away. Excellent example of both Japanese horror and found footage done right. We could even put it on after dinner if you guys are interested. Dang, I would usually be down for that, but we gotta head to Oscar's after this. We promised we'd Ghostbust his place. He's apparently been dealing with a bad haunting. And I feel like we should really be there for him tonight, considering everything that happened. He and Rosalina both need our support right now. I'll take a rain check on the movie, though. Yeah, we'll definitely come by for a movie night this week. I'm free tomorrow night. Same goes for Vinny. I should probably work tomorrow, but I can close up early. So you three go way back, huh? Almost to the womb. The school here is a tiny K-12, not exactly a one-room schoolhouse, but not far from it. We're lucky we all got along as much as we did. Some kids aren't able to make any friends their own age. They just happened to be born around the same time as some real jerks, and were stuck with them through their whole school career. Poor kids. Not that we were free from dealing with jerks, like a certain Scarlet I could name. Okay, she was a little rough around the edges, but she was pretty friendly when you got past that. Maybe to you, the way she used to look at me, you'd think I rolled in something foul every morning before school. Same here, though to be fair, the feeling was more mutual between us. She deserved it, though. Want to come ghost hunting with us tonight? Oh, wow. Do you think you'd be down for that? We'd love to have you. Yeah, it'd be great to have you along. That would be so amazing, but I haven't had the best luck leaving the house lately. Even just walking to town is enough to put me in bed for a week. It sucks. Bro, same. You make sure you bring your camera, Stella. I want to see everything that happens. Yeah, I'm not gonna touch the mom stuff. I've been through the mom stuff. I'm not gonna touch the mom stuff. Dinner's gotta be ready by now, right? Almost on cue, Reese's mom shouts from the kitchen. Dinner's on the table! Yes, that's it for catching up. And I think that's where we're going to end for tonight. We will pick up tomorrow with dinner with Reese and go ghost tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Next Friday. Listen, I have a hole in my brain. I'm allowed to be a little dumb. Anyway, I will see you all on Monday with the next installment of the Secret World Legends intellectual property playthrough, and on Wednesday for more The Devil in Me. Bye!